Welcome back to the Paper Turtle. Today I am making some little goodie boxes to give to some crafting friends. I'm going to be meeting with them for luncheon tomorrow. We get together once a week. I don't always go, but they get together once a week and do paper crafting, scrapbooking, whatever, making cards, whatever they're working on. And so we're doing a kind of a holiday luncheon tomorrow, and I wanted to make these little goodies to bring everybody. And what I'm making are this little box. It looks like a milk carton, really, I guess. Somebody gave this to me, and I didn't have a pattern or anything, so I kind of started to take it apart a little bit to figure out how she made it and to make my own pattern. And so this is what I'm making, and it's so cute. It holds 6 of these little Hershey nugget candies perfectly. And she just wrapped each candy in a pretty little piece of paper, and you can see it's a Hershey's nugget. And so they just go into the little thing, they fit in there perfectly. So I decided to make these with Christmas theme, and I have to make, I don't know, 10 or 12 of them. And so this is the first one. It's not the first one I made, but this is one of them. And this is one of them. I've made a few and worked the kinks out, I think. And so now I'm ready to do it on camera, I hope. And this is one that I made. So I figured that I would just turn the camera on and continue to make them. And hopefully maybe you'll learn how to make them if you don't already know. So the first thing that I did is cut 2 pieces of 4x4 paper. And they need to be a fairly good cardstock, not the real thin scrapbook paper, but a heavier cardstock. Some of these I used from 6x6 paper pads, and some of them I used from scrapbook paper, the heavier kind. I like them better if they're double-sided, because you are going to see both sides of it, so double-sided is good. Or, like I did on this one, and like she did on this one, you can use a solid color. So I've decided to use, most of them are double-sided. Now you're going to probably hear my cat. She's sitting right here next to me, and she's talking, and she might even jump in front of us because she likes to do that. Oh, I'm missing my cutter. Okay, here it is. So after you cut your 4x4 piece of paper, you're going to score it. And this was my my pattern that I made. I made all my little notes on it, so I know what I'm doing. So you're going to score a 1/2 inch on each side. Now, you might have a scoreboard thing. I don't have a scoreboard thing, so I use my cutter, and I use these, I don't know what these are called. We used to use them to do dry embossing years ago, and they're really good for scoring. So I just measure my 1/2 inch, and I run my score down the cut line of my cutter. So you're going to do a 1/2 inch on each side. My husband just came home, and the cat opened my door, so you might hear him also talking. And then you are going to do 1.5 inch. You're going to turn it and do 1.5 inch here, and then move it down and do 1 inch. Okay, so that was a 1/2 inch on each side. You can see the score line's better on this side. 1/2 inch on each side, 1.5 inches, and then 1 inch. So you're going to do that on both of your pieces of paper. Again, that was a 1/2 inch on each side. And then I'll turn it a half a turn, do 1.5 inch, move it up, and do 1 inch. Okay, so now you have 2 4-inch pieces of paper with all your score lines like that. Now what you're going to do is we're going to measure 1 inch. You can see where the score lines are. This is your, where you did your 1/2 inch and inch on this end, and this is the longer end. And if it's all measured right, this should be 2.5 inches from the end of the paper to the first score line. So what you're going to do is measure 1 inch from the end of the paper and just put a little mark there on both sides, like so. And then you're going to cut from your 1 inch mark to the score line, and then turn it and cut along the score line. So you're cutting out this little rectangle right there. You would not believe how many times I did this before I got this right. I screwed it up so many times. Wasted so much paper. I mean, I'll use the scraps, but wasted a lot of time. Okay, now what you're going to do is from this first score line here, you're going to measure 1 inch again and just mark right there. And right there on both sides. And then you're going to cut across from the mark that you made to the corner where you cut previously. I have to put my glasses on, sorry. Then turn it over and do the other side from the mark to the corner. So it's going to end up looking like this. And do both of those the same way. And I will do this again. I hope I'm in frame. Hope I didn't do that whole thing not in frame. Let me see. So it's 1 inch from the end on each side. Cut to the score line. Cut along the score line. And do that on each side. You might hear my husband in the background talking to the cat. The cat is ridiculous. She's very, very needy. She needs attention constantly, all the time. We had 2 cats, and one of them died recently, and we think that because the other one died, this one is now very, very needy. Okay, so now you're measuring again, 1 inch from the score line. And then you're going to just cut at your angle, like that. So now we have the 2 pieces. If you remember, looking at the box, I probably didn't show you this, but there's 2 of these glued together. So we're making 2 sides and we're gluing them together. So at this point, you want to decide what you want for the inside of your box and what you want for the outside of your box. And I think that I am going to have this on the inside of the box. Well, one more step before we do that. Right here where the score lines form this little box right here, you just need to clip from the edge to the score line on either side of that little box, so that you are creating these 3 flaps right here, like that. So you do that on both the sides, on both of your pieces. Just like that. Now, knowing which side we want to be the inside, now we're going to glue it together, and I'm just folding along my score lines just to get the crease in there. And the first thing that we're going to do is we're going to glue this little square right here. And I'm going to put just a piece of scrap paper down under there because I'm kind of a messy gluer, so that I don't glue all over the inside of my box. And I'm just using Craft Bond, not the school glue. If you're going to use the Elmer's craft glue, make sure it's Bond, not the school glue, because it's a little bit hardier. So I just turned the flap in, the little square one, and put the glue on it. You can use whatever kind of glue you want. I'm also using, oh, and I got glue on it anyway. I'm also using Aleene's tacky glue for some parts of this. So now you're going to just turn it up and connect your top flap to the little square flap. And I'm just holding it there until it bonds, just for a couple of seconds. And then you do the other side. And when you do this, you want to make sure that on your bottom it's flush, so that when you set this, because that's the bottom of your box, so when you set it down, you want it to be able to sit squarely on the table. You don't want the side flap to be down further than the bottom. I hope that makes sense. Okay, now we are going to glue this part right here, both sides. Fold it up and fold the sides in. And that forms your little box, like so. Okay, make sure that your glue is bonded before you start moving it around too much, or it will fall apart. I tend to be a little bit imperfect in making things, and it turns into a comedy of errors sometimes. So hopefully I'll be able to do this without making too many errors. Okay, so now you're going to do the same thing for the other box. And first we're going to glue the little flap here, right there. I'm going to fold it up and attach it there. And on both sides, making sure that it is flush and not sticking out beyond the bottom of the box. Just like that. Then, I'm going to just put that under there. We're going to glue this part and this part. Now the reason that I'm using the Elmer's Bond on here instead of something a little bit stronger, which I could use, and you can, doesn't matter, is because I'm not super concerned. You want it to hold together, but we're also going to be putting another band of paper around it that will help hold it all together too. And the other glue that I use, the Aleene's, tends to be very wet. So this is just a drier glue, and it just works a little better for me for gluing these little parts like this. Okay, so now we have these two boxes. And now we're going to glue them together right here. And that's where I'm going to use the Aleene's, because it is easier to stick them together. Easier to put the glue on, because it's not flat, so I can't push the glue stick down. So I just hold it in my hand and apply the aliens. And again, you can use whatever kind of glue you want. Does not matter. And don't be too sloppy like me. Thank you. My husband just brought me a sandwich. He's so sweet. I promise I won't chomp on you in your ear. Okay. It's most important just to get the glue on the edges. And then I just stick them together. Hold them together to bond. All the way down. Boy, I hope I'm in frame. I have a feeling I'm not. Is that better? Push my bottoms together. I have to be kind of gentle because it's just paper. Whoops. See, it's just paper. Okay, so here's our box. Now we want to decorate it. And what I'm going to do first is I'm going to ink around the edges because if you can see, I don't know if you can see this, where it's a little rough where it was cut. And this paper is a white core, so the white core of the inside of the paper shows. I don't like that. I'm going to ink it to give it a little bit more of a finished edge. You can ink it before you glue it together. Might be a little easier. I don't know. It probably is a little easier, but I just did it this way. It doesn't matter. So I'm just going to ink around the whole box. Take that white core away, give it a little bit of definition and a little bit of a rustic look. And I have, my husband's on the phone and I have no idea what he's doing. I hope you can't hear him. I need to get up and shut the door. Okay, and I'm going to just do these edges also, just to give it a little bit of a finished edge here. And there, that looks good. Okay, now to come up with the what's going across here, I need something that is 8 inches long. This is where I have, for some reason, the simplest part of this, I've messed up on a lot of these. But I think that I might have it down pat now. All right, I'm going to use this, and it needs to be 8 inches long. I don't know how big this is. Let's see, it's probably 12. Yep. 8 by 3/4 of an inch. That's all you need. So you can use scrap paper on this part. That's one good thing about making these things is it doesn't take very big pieces of paper. So you can use scrap paper for them, as long as it's heavyweight enough. So I'm also inking the edges of my strip. And this will go around the box, like this. And hold on just a minute, I'm going to get up and close my door a little bit because I don't know what he's doing, but it might be personal. I'm not sure. Sorry about that. So now I'm going to just apply the same paper glue. Remember, these things, this isn't something that's going to last a lifetime. These people will probably take this and put it on the shelf in their craft room, maybe, or do like I did, take it apart and figure out how to make it themselves. And all that's good, that's fine. I don't mind any of that. I'm trying to center this because when it wraps around the box, you want the seam line to be in the center of your box. So I'm just wrapping it, and I'm doing one side at a time, pressing it down so that it's nice and close to the box. And I cut it too short again. How did I do that again? Oh my goodness, I have measured this thing. I don't know how many times I have measured this thing. And every time I seem to cut it the wrong stinking size. How did I do that? Do you see what I mean when I say when I do crafting, it's a comedy of errors. So that's 1 inch. That's 2 inches. So that's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.5. How did I cut that 7.5? Oh my goodness, did I not measure that? That says 8. So how is this 7.5? What did I do wrong? So I guess I need to go 8.5. I don't know. I keep screwing this up all the time. Every time I've done this, I've screwed it up. Oh my goodness. Okay, that's all right. That's okay. We're gonna work with this. I'm gonna put something that's gonna go right across here, so we're not even gonna notice that that is like that. I just have to find the right color piece of paper to use. How about that? Yeah, it's not red enough. Oh, I love this one. Okay, and I need to find the image or saying or something that I want on here, and I think I'm going to use I have a sheet of paper that has, if I can find it, there it is. It has these sayings on it, so I'm going to cut out, does it go? You know what, it goes good enough. I'm going to cut out the Merry Christmas, and I'm going to put it on this red piece of paper, and then I'm going to put it on there. So, I'm using different things to decorate the boxes with, and I'm just digging into my Christmas stash. I have accumulated a lot of stuff over the years. I've been scrapbooking for, oh my goodness, I don't know how many years. Forever, I think. And I don't throw things away. I don't purge. I don't throw things away. I save everything. Because you never know when you're going to need it, when you're going to use it. And I have proven that to myself time and time again. Okay, so this is going to go right there. So I'm going to cut this 2 3/4 inches long, and let's go 1 inch. 1 inch. Go 1 inch. Nope, I'm gonna go. See, this is what I do. This is what I do. I screw it up every single time. Maybe I'm trying to be too exact. Maybe I need to just not be so, I don't know, perfect in my cuts. I just worry about things being too, I want it to look professional. I'm not perfect. I know it's not going to be perfect, but I want it to look professional. I need to trim this down just a teeny tiny bit. Most people could do this with scissors, not me. I need a cutter because I cannot cut straight. That's my big thing. I can't cut straight. I've said it over and over and over again, and you'll see it over and over and over again. Okay, so I'm going to put this on here, and then it's going to go on here. Is that going to look okay? I think so. It doesn't look straight, but that's all right. When inking around the edges takes away some of those flaws of not cutting straight. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm not talking too much. I'm concentrating because I keep screwing up every single time that I do this. I have not made one of these little boxes yet without screwing something up. And it's not that hard. It's really not that hard. Okay, that's going there. And I think I want to round these corners. And again, that's something that I'm really bad at. So I use a corner rounder. And this is an old Fiskars corner edgers. I bought this years ago. And I love it. And you can cut 4 different types of corners. At least 4 different types of corners with this. You can do it going this way. And you can do just a curve, or you can do it a little bit bigger. Can you see this? I don't know. A little bit bigger to have little notches on it. Or you can turn the scissors over, and the curve will go the other way. And you can do, again, just the curve, or extend it out with the little notches on it. And I use this more than I use like a corner punch, just because I like it, and it's what I'm used to. And so it okay. I don't know, this video might not make it to YouTube. We'll see. Alright, so that is that part of it. And I'm just going to glue this on the front of the box. Cover up the part that didn't meet. You want this long enough to meet, to overlap a little bit right here. So when you cut yours, make sure you cut it 8 inches. Okay, there's that part. Now we want a little decoration up at the top, some kind of thing. These are circles, this one's an oval. You know, you can vary it up, use your imagination, do whatever you want with it. So I think that I'm going to, I need I need a decoration for it. Let me see what I have here. I have a wreath sticker. That would look cute on there. So I'm going to punch a 2-inch circle out of this red. And my punch better work for me. Sometimes this punch works and sometimes it doesn't. I feel like it's rickety. It worked that time. That's good. And I'm going to ink the edges. Right like that. And I'm going to take, this is just a sticker. You can use die cuts, you can make your own whatever's. I'm trying to use up some of my old stash, so I'm using a sticker on this one. And this I'm going to put right in the center. And it's one of those clear stickers, so if you like burnish the edges, just press them down. You won't see that clear sticker part. It kind of disappears. So it doesn't look like a sticker. Now what I'm going to do is put some little jewels. No, I'm not going to use jewels. I'm going to use Stickles and put it on there. So I'm going to attach this first and then I'll put the Stickles on. So then I'm not trying to attach it while it's wet. That's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to put glue just on the bottom part of the circle. Press it into place, and I did that. I did the same thing as I did on the last one. I put the glue not in the center of the circle. That's okay. All these little mistakes that I make, I can fix them. I can fix them all. Okay, now I'm going to get some red Stickles. Be right back. Just take a look at that for a second. I have my box of, and it's burgundy. I don't have a bright red. That's paprika. That's too orangey. I'll just use this one. I think that'll work. I also have gold. I think I'll take that out. And I have my, I love these, the icicle and the stardust I have already out. So now I have the red. Maybe I should grab a green too. That one's called Holly. It's got red and green in it. That one's pretty. I have not used my Stickles in a long time, so I'm going to test it on a piece of scrap paper just to make sure that it's flowing. And actually, before I even do that, I'll stick a pin in it. If I can find a pin, I had some up here yesterday. Of course, I can't find it. Hold on. Okay. Loosen that up a little bit. Come on. Ooh. Glad I'm doing this on scrap paper. I do know enough to do that. Oh my goodness. This isn't coming out. Anybody have a solution for that? Here's my other pen. Try a bigger pen. See, it's going all the way down into the bottle. So it should work. I don't know why it's not working. Alright, well, maybe I won't be putting Stickles on there. Darn it. I know that these work, so I'll use this one. I used this on I think I used this one on a card yesterday. So, it's almost empty though. Oh my goodness gracious. Do you see what what happens to me? I don't want to use green on the berries. Alright, plan B. There's always a plan B. I have, I hope, some bling. Hoping for smaller ones, and I know I have them in here somewhere. Here, I'll show you my bling basket. This is my bling basket. I have one of these that's Christmassy. There we go. Okay. That is what I'm going to do. So, I'm taking these tiny little pieces of bling and I'm putting them on the red circles on the wreath. And I hope they stay on. They have adhesive on them, so that's why I'm not putting any more on. And it feels like they're on there pretty good. If they were loose or moving around after I put them on, I would put some glue on there and glue them down, but I think they'll be okay. And I think, yeah, I'll put a couple on here too, just to jazz it up a little bit. I'll do that, and two of these teeny tiny ones. I usually use tweezers when I'm doing this, but I think I can handle it this time. I think there. Okay. Oh, phew, that took a lot, didn't it? And then when you have to put the Hershey's nuggets in there, this person just covered them with a strip of paper and just wrapped it around. And like I said, if I have time, I'll do that. If I don't have time, then they're going to go in just like that, which looks just fine if you get, I think they sell ones with Christmas colors, so that should work out just fine. So there we have, boy, I hope you got something out of that video. Oh, I'm so bad sometimes. I'm trying, I'm working on it. So we have this one that I made the other day. This one, this is graphic 45 paper. It's a little 6x6 pad. It's so pretty. And this one. So I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from all of my fumbling. And try it. They're really cute, and they're a great little gift that you can just use your scraps. All it's going to cost you is a bag of candy. And they're really good, you know, to give to your coworkers or your friends or your kid's teacher or whatever. So it's fun. So have fun with that. And thanks for watching the Paper Turtle. I'll see you next time. Bye.